Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Now, lots and lots of talk today about Kieran Tierney of Celtic. We've spoken about him a lot on the show over the past week or so. Tierney, 22 years old, as I said, plays for Celtic at the moment as a left back, really talented. 3 times Scottish Young Player of the Year. As we know, Celtic have been winning everything up there in Scotland for the past few years, well, past 5-6 years. And Unai Emery has apparently convinced the Arsenal board to sign him. We, of course, know that we need a left-back. Monreal's knocking on a bit. Kolasinac really did have an up-and-down season. And Tierney is seen as this kid that could come in and really shake up that position. It's got a lot of qualities, gets up and down the pitch well, very skillful, very quick, very energetic, and would be just what Unai Emery would like to see in the team. We know that he wants to play with width. We know that he wants wingers that are dynamic, and this guy, Kieran Tierney, really does fit the bill. We're being told that it would cost anything up to about £20 million. And I know there'll be a lot of people out there thinking, well, he's come from the Scottish League, and I know people do look down on the Scottish League sometimes because Celtic win it so easily year in, year out. There'll be the questions as has he been tested? But let me remind you, somebody like Virgil van Dijk came from Celtic as well. There's been some good players that have come out of Celtic, and I think Kieran Tierney would be a good signing for Arsenal. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Arsenal really push this one. Remember, Tierney last year was being linked with Manchester United, but ended up United sticking with Luke Shaw. But could Tierney be heading to Arsenal? I think that would be a good move. It's going to be really interesting. As I said yesterday, could Carl Jenkinson be pivotal to that move? Now, Carl Jenkinson, as we know, looks like he's on his way out this season. Arsenal definitely want to move him on. He was in the team last year. Didn't really figure, just, now and again in some League Cup games and, FA Cup games, some of the Europa League games. But it wasn't a first teamer, at all. And he's a right back. That's his natural position. And, Maitland-Niles was coming in front of him, which just shows you the fact that, Jenkinson wasn't really in Unai Emery's thoughts. Now, Celtic are really interested in him. He said that Celtic could do with a right back and would be interested in bringing Jenkinson. Could he be pivotal, as I said, in the role? Arsenal said to want about 10 million for him. It would make perfect sense for him to be part of any deal to get Kieran Tierney. Or could he be heading to West Brom? That seems to be his preferred destination. That's the talk coming out of the Jenkinson camp. Of course, the West Brom manager now is Slaven Bilic. And Bilic, of course, used to manage Carl Jenkinson when Jenkinson was on loan there at West Ham. So, again, that's going to be a really interesting one to see what happens. Either way, I'm sure Arsenal would like to move Jenkinson out this season. He's on quite high wages, reportedly about 45, 50 grand a week. And there's no point in having a player on that sort of wages and we're not even playing him. So whether it be West Brom or whether it be Celtic, it does look like hopefully he will be going out this season because he's not playing at Arsenal. But where will he end up and will he be part of any move for Tierney? Going to be really interesting to see how that one develops out. Now, Arsenal today linked with this player. He's a Hungarian national, plays for RB Salzburg in the midfield. Dominik Szoboszlai. I hope I pronounced that one right. But Dominik Szoboszlai, as I said, he plays for RB Salzburg. A dynamic midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. And we know that Arsenal are definitely after that type of midfielder, after letting Aaron Ramsey go for absolutely nothing. He's valued at around about £15 million. Now, he's still only 18, yet another young player that Arsenal are looking at, only 18. And he only played 16 first-team games last season. scored 3 goals, had 4 assists, but really did make an impact. Really, you know, got a lot of people talking. There's a lot of big clubs interested in him as well. Juventus are interested in him. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Lazio, just to mention a few, have really sort of been scouting this guy, Szoboszlai. 18 though. And as I said, hardly figured for RB Salzburg. You know, I think he played in one of the Europa League games as well. Would he be the answer to come in instantly and fill the shoes of Aaron Ramsey? Very much doubt it. But Arsenal are interested in him today. So let's see how that one develops out. Hector Bellerin, as we know, suffered a really bad injury last season. ACL injury. And the updates that we got on that injury are not good at the moment. It's said that, you know, Hector Bellerin could miss the start of the season as well because he's still recovering from the ACL. It's not going as well as, you know, Arsenal had hoped. They were hoping that he would be fully back for pre-season and then be back at the start of the season. But it does look like his return to Arsenal will be delayed, which means do Arsenal renew their interest in Thomas Meunier? We know that Meunier doesn't want to go from PSG, but Arsenal are saying to themselves, you know what, we may need a right back because Hector Bellerin is still struggling. He's still not 100% fit. It's a big injury. It's going to take him a bit of time to get back to where he wants to be. And, you know, as I said, Maitland-Niles last year, up and down in that right back position. Surely Arsenal are going to be looking for, you know, a proper right back, and Thomas Meunier fits the bill. But will he leave PSG? That again is going to be something that's going to be really interesting to see. And should Arsenal go over to France and raid Rennes for Ismaila Sarr? I really, really rate this player. Still only 21. Now, Rennes have apparently put a value on him now. They're saying that they want £36 million for Ismaila Sarr. That's a lot of money. I think they might struggle to get that amount of money for Ismaila Sarr, but Arsenal are interested in him. Jose Mourinho recently compared Ismaila Sarr to Ousmane Dembele. He said, you know, same sort of qualities, really quick. A player that I've seen in the flesh. When we played Rennes, he was unbelievable in that game. He was so quick, so tricky, got a lot of skill. I really thought to myself, this is a guy who would fit perfectly at Arsenal. 13 goals and 11 assists last season. For me, this is the type of player that Arsenal should be going for. He's going to be playing in the African Cup of Nations for Senegal, so we'll get to see a lot more of him. There are a lot of clubs interested in him. Watford apparently recently tabled a bid of around about £26 million for him. But as I said, Rennes are said to want up to about £36 million. They know what they've got. He's a quality player. Newcastle also interested. For me, this is what frustrates the life out of me with Arsenal. I think we should be going for somebody like a Wilfried Zaha, but I understand, you know, that's going to be a lot of money. You're going to be talking about up to £60 million. Ismaila Sarr, go in. All right, they want 36 million. Go in, put down like a 30 million. That's what we should be doing, because I think that a player of his quality, the way that Unai Emery wants to play with quick, speedy wingers, Ismaila Sarr would be perfect. But it's the money. And are our guys willing to pay, or our guy at the top, is he willing to pay that? Arsenal also linked with his keeper today, Thomas Draxler. He's a goalkeeper, as I said, plays for Lazio. He's Albanian, 24 years old. Arsenal interested in him. He's valued up to around about £18 million. Now, you know, Lazio desperately want to hold on to him. He had a decent season last year, kept 10 clean sheets in Serie A. Spurs apparently interested in him as well. They see him as a possible replacement for Hugo Lloris. But Lazio, as I said, desperate to hold on to him. However, he is on a quite small contract at Lazio. Reportedly only earns about £17,000 a week. He knows that if he got to the Premier League, that will get doubled, even trebled. Arsenal, as we know, looking for a keeper. It looks like Ospina is going to be going. There's a lot of talk that a deal's been agreed for Ospina up to around about £4 million. So it does look like Ospina's going to be going. And Arsenal do need a backup goalkeeper. Will it be Emilio Martinez? Who knows? But they are looking at this guy, and possibly he could come in. We're going to have to wait and see how that one develops out. And Mario Hermoso. Now, Hermoso of Espanyol, centre-back. One of the first shows I did this summer in Transfer Daily, I spoke about this guy. Unai Emery likes him a lot, really interested in signing him. He rejected a new deal at Espanyol. He's only got 1 year left on his current contract. Espanyol were trying to extend that deal, but Hermoso has rejected that, which shows that he really does want to leave. With only 1 year left on the deal, Espanyol are going to be keen to cash in on him. There's a bit of a catch in this guy's contract, as I've previously sort of spoken about, that Real Madrid own half of his rights and have got a buyback clause where they could buy him back, but it seems that they're not interested in buying him back. They would make some money out if he is sold on. He also had a release clause of £35 million, but as I said, with 1 year left on his contract, nobody's going to go, I think, for that release clause. And he's probably going to be valued round about the £18 million mark. Although he is in demand, lots of clubs looking at him, so that could rise as different clubs start to bid. But highly rated centre-back, had a really good season for Espanyol. Spanish, and Unai Emery knows him and likes him. Could Emery make a move for him? As I said, a lot of other teams looking at him. Atletico Madrid said to be one. Bayern Munich as well. We're going to have to see how that one plays out. But Hermoso doesn't look like he will be staying at Espanyol and will be moving on this summer. Could it be to the Emirates Stadium? We'll have to wait and see. Let's get into a couple of your comments here. Hail the Celts are here, which indicates to me that this gentleman is a Celtic fan. And he says Kieran Tierney would walk into our first 11. He's one of the best talents in Europe at the moment. Maybe he's an Arsenal and Celtic fan. But he there's very enthusiastic about Kieran Tierney and said he would walk into the team. Trulls said, I'd only sell Aubameyang for plus 100 million, get Ziyech and another attacker around 20 to 30 million and spend the rest on 2 defenders and a centre midfield. So he looks like he'd sell Aubameyang. Remember yesterday I did that poll about Aubameyang, asking you the guys the question, would you sell Aubameyang to Manchester United for 70 to 100 million pounds? 74% of you said no. And I'm in that. I voted in that and I'm in the no's. I wouldn't be selling it. No more players to Man United, you know, unless it's players that we're looking to move on. 24% of you, 26% of you said no. Said yes, you would sell him, but it's quite overwhelming. The fans want to keep Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And I hear what this guy's saying. Money raised could bring in other players, but to me, money raised, we don't want to be getting rid of our very best players, particularly to our rivals in Manchester United. And they really are going to be our rivals next year for one of those top 4 spots. So I think that would be, and what sort of message would that send out? Selling him to Manchester United, it would be terrible. Gary Finn says, the best part of waking up in the morning is waking up to a notification on YouTube of an AFTV transfer daily. Best feeling ever. Thank you very much, Gary. The check is in the post. Now, listen, I really appreciate everybody who watches this show, follows it on a day-to-day basis. Thank you very much. Keep it locked here to AFTV Transfer Daily. Keep subscribing to AFTV and we'll be back tomorrow.